A good afternoon to you and welcome to Ragsdale Field inside Burger King Stadium on the campus of Columbus State University for this weekend series against the Braves of UNC Pembroke as the Cougars are back in town here at Ragsdale Field. We welcome everyone joining us here on Cougar Sports TV. I'm Corey Aldis, excited for the weekend series that is going to start here on this special Friday. It's Valentine's Day. Can't think of a better place to spend it at than at Ragsdale Field here with the Cougars. We welcome everyone who's joining us on this special occasion, and we show our love to you for spending your Friday evening and your Valentine's Day night with us, watching the Cougars do battle against the Braves of UNC Pembroke. A big series here for both of these teams as we are opening conference play inside the Peach Belt Conference, and the Cougars looking to get off on the right foot and really looking to bounce back after a kind of a strange midweek game against Albany State. A little bit of a surprise. The Cougars fell victim to the Golden Rams by a shutout score of 5-0. It took me and pretty much everyone by surprise there, but Albany State played a fantastic game. Their pitcher just absolutely shoved it, and they came away with a 5-0 win. That right after the Cougars had taken the series win against Florida Southern just last weekend. So a bounce back in order here for the Cougars. Pembroke, meanwhile, rolling into here, winners of 3 in a row, 6-2 overall record. Out there is Jalen Lotta, and the first pitch is in, and we are underway here at Ragsdale Field. So Jalen Lotta getting his third start of the season for the Cougars. Has yet to pick up a win, actually. I was chatting with him in the pregame, mentioning, all right, today's the day. This is the time to get your first win of your senior campaign. He starts things off with a 1-1 count against Clemens of UNC Pembroke. He's been a little bit unlucky in his first 2 starts as far as the win department goes, but he has racked up 8 Ks, both career highs in each of his first 2 outings for the Cougars. Trevor Clemens, the redshirt junior from Randleman, North Carolina, one of the transfers to UNC Pembroke, but he's been here for a couple of years. Originally came from UNC Greensboro. We recall him last year and the year before that as a member of this Brave team. Hitting just .294 to start his season as he swings and fouls that one back. This UNC Pembroke team, as usual in years past as well, a team that can hit for power, extra base hits, and right now the Cougars, normally a team that likes the long ball, but they've been awfully quiet with those deep balls. There's an early strikeout to get things started on the mound for the senior from Columbus. Lotta wants the 8 strikeouts again. If anything, he wants to surpass that. The 8 Ks that he's picked up in both of his first 2 starts this season matched career highs for the senior. And he's a handful to deal with, the lefty out there on the mound. First pitch to Hammonds. That pitch goes in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Gage Hammonds, the outfielder for the Braves, hitting .308. He started all 8, now make it 9 games this season for UNCP. Sends that one over to Meadows at third base. A little bobble, but he makes the throw over the first 2 down.
Now batting number 17.
Cougar fielding this season. Been on par with seasons in past. They've got a .975 fielding percentage. They've been pretty clean so far, just a couple of errors over there at short. The infield starting to get used to each other. A lot of new faces in this infield from what the Cougars have been used to in the past. Man, they've had so many good infielders, especially the past couple of seasons where they've been there for so many years. I mean, we saw Grant Berry on the infield 4 years here at CSU. Justin Evans and McClellan out there. There were names and guys that had been around for many years as the infield had grown together and gotten that unity and turned into one of the best defensive clubs inside of all of Division II. A team that usually ranks either at top or at least in the top 10 inside double plays turned. 2-1 pitch, 2-2. Got some action happening over at Cougar Field as well this entire weekend, so if you're in the area and around town, you can go check out softball tournament happening over at Cougar Field. Our Lady Cougars will actually be in action later on today in just a few minutes once that game finishes up. The tournament game that's happening right now between Georgia Southwestern and Albany State, once that concludes, the Lady Cougars will be in action after that one. Full count. Jalen Lotta looking for a clean 1-2-3 inning here. Pitch there, sent over to second base. A liner over to McDade. Easy, soft out there as the Cougars go 1-2-3. Let's head to the bottom of the first here on Cougar Sports TV.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% would go pro.
That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Don't you worry, my child. Everything's gonna be just fine. Little darling, you keep on walking, 'cause I ain't never gonna leave your side.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
Welcome back here on Cougar Sports TV. Bottom of the first inning, the Cougars go 1-2-3 there in the top frame as Jalen Lotta picked up a K for CSU, and we'll get our first chance to see the Cougar bats up at the plate. Meadows will lead things off here for CSU. It'll be Meadows, Boughton, and Brooks, the 1-2-3 for the Cougars. First pitch misses there for a ball to Meadows. Bonning the pitcher here for UNC Pembroke. Bucky Bonning, the right-handed junior from Sarasota, Florida. Saw a number of players from Sarasota this past weekend with Florida Southern in town. Bonning in his first season with UNC Pembroke, a transfer from State College of Florida, 2-0 the count. Bonning's pitch called strike there. He's making just his second start of the season, although he does have 3 appearances already. Worked 2 out of the bullpen for the Braves. This his second start. Did start against Queens earlier this year when he went 3 1/3. Gave up just 2 hits and 1 earned with 7 strikeouts. It's pretty efficient there, 7 Ks and 3 1/3. 2-2 the count. Bonning works a lot slower than what we're used to seeing with Jalen Lotta up there on the mound. Off speed, got him looking at that one. What a pitch there. Breaking ball settled right in there for a called third strike. Not much that Meadows could do about that one as he heads back to the dugout, and Boughton will step up for CSU. Well, it's good to see Isaac Boughton back in the lineup. He had been starting every game for CSU, but he missed his first game of the season yesterday, or this past week, earlier this week on Wednesday against Albany State. And he missed that game because he got a couple of his teeth knocked out. Cougars were taking BP up at Albany State, and Coach Sammy Stires was hitting with a fungo, and a ball just hopped up on Boughton, and next thing you know, apparently Coach Stires said he saw some teeth in the air. As Boughton rolls that one to short for the second out. So they took him on over to get things all patched up. And apparently all went well. He'll head back in a couple of weeks to make sure that his teeth, I don't know, I guess grasp or settle in and that they're good to go and not going to die on him. I'm not really sure how all of that works, but Coach App was saying that, yeah, full-on tooth, root and everything was there on the ground that he picked up. UNC Pembroke trying to go 1-2-3 as well as Brooks skies that one to the right fielder. Clements coming all the way up. Full head of steam for the third out. Zeros here at Ragsdale Field after one on Cougar Sports TV.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Back here on Cougar Sports TV, Mobley will be the one to lead things off here for the Braves. So both pitchers making quick work of their opponents in the first inning. One pitch, high one over the Meadows, one out. So Lotta looking real nice up there on the mound for the Cougars, as Ryan and then Simpson, who's on deck, will be the next two for the Braves. Jalen Lotta has been here all 4 seasons as a Cougar. Been a fantastic player for CSU. He was a great starter for them last year, a 3.51 ERA, had 82 strikeouts on the season. Just shy of 90 innings of work for the then junior. River Ryan, the one up at the plate right now. The 1-1 pitch inside, called strike. Ryan, the righty from Huntersville, North Carolina. This is a player that has been on an absolute tear to open up his season for the Braves. But he just chops that one over to McDade. Balls really aren't leaving the infield here in this one. 2 quick outs.
Now batting, number 32, Alex Simpson.
Now, speaking of bats that have been on fire, Alex Simpson, now the one at the plate, Kid's been hitting .471 to open up his senior season. He's been doing a little bit of everything. 6 singles, 2 doubles, 2 home runs. Can sprinkle it all over the field as he looks at a strike there to even the count. It's a little bit of a windy afternoon here in Columbus, Georgia, but man, the sun is shining. Skies are completely clear. Warmer than it was last weekend. It was chilly and cloudy last weekend. It's good to see that sun out here at Ragsdale Field. Temperature is much better this time around, although not so much in the dugout, with the dugout being shaded, at least CSU's dugout for the time being. Three and one the count. 2 down, bases empty. Lotta comebacker right up the gut. First base knock of the game for either team, and it's Alex Simpson who keeps his great start to his season continuing.
Now batting, number 20, Bobby Dixon.
So the 2-out single keeps the top of the second alive for Bobby Dixon, a junior from Clayton, North Carolina. No stolen bases so far this season for Simpson, but UNC Pembroke, they're a team that loves to take off and be very aggressive on the base paths. Just shy of 170 stolen bases combined over the past 2 years. That pitch misses outside and high, 1-1. We watched a lot of work around a whole lot of runners on the base paths in his last start 1 week ago against Florida Southern. He did such a good job with runners on the base paths and containing them and preventing things from getting out of hand, and kept CSU in that one. A strike is called there to get ahead in the count 1-2. He's always so calm, cool, doesn't show any emotion whatsoever, not just out there on the mound, but in general, in his interviews, in real life. He's the emotionless player out there for CSU. Always give him a hard time about it. And he absolutely despises doing any post-game interviews. Wouldn't mind doing a post-game interview with him today. That would mean that he pitched well and the Cougars got a win. 1-2 pitch, fouled away. Both these teams just 2 losses so far in the season. And both these teams led by 2 of the best coaches in all of Division II. 2 guys that have been around for a long time, Coach Paul O'Neill, and for the Cougars, Coach Greg Appleton. O'Neill in his 20th season, Coach App 23rd. App's got over 800 wins, O'Neill over the 600 mark himself. Deuce is out there for CSU. 2-2 count. That one's hit into right field. It's going to put runners on first and second. So back-to-back singles here by the Braves with 2 outs. Trying to get a little bit of a rally going here in the top of the second.
Now batting, number 40, Connor Granger.
Lotto went 1-2-3 in the first, and then he got a couple of ground outs to open up the top of the second. But now he's run into some trouble. 2 on the base paths. Runners on first and second. Looking for that 3rd out. So here's Connor Granger. Slow start to his year. Hitting just .212. First pitch. Sends that one over to the shortstop. And they go the short route there to McDade at second for the fielder's choice. That's a way to get out of the small jam that Lotta put himself in. Let's head to the bottom of the second. We'll see if the Cougar Bats can start a rally of their own after this.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieve a lot of the financial burden.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
A happy Valentine's Day from ours to yours. The Cougars and the Braves of UNC Pembroke getting a chance to play here on Valentine's night. Bottom of the second, zeros up there on the scoreboard as Bryson Horn will lead things off here for the Cougars. Horn, Webb, and Bullock, the three up at the dish for CSU this inning. Want to know the count to Horn? Make it 2-0. Bryson Horn, the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Week in the opening week of the season, has slowed down a little bit for CSU, but still has an average over 400 for the Cougars. 407 on the season. Takes that 2-0 and skies it high into left field. Hammond's the one who settles underneath it for out number one. Two flyouts, a ground out, and a strikeout for the Cougar Bats. See if Drew Webb can be the first one on the base paths. He was the first one on the base paths in that loss against Florida Southern to open up the series for CSU last week. Remember, they struggled mightily against J.J. Negro of the Moccasins last Friday. Cougars just couldn't buy a hit. Made things interesting late, but ended up falling short 6-3, but then took a couple of wins in the next two games to take the series. There's the first base knock of the game for the Cougars, and it is Sticks who finds his way over to first base with a single.
Now batting number 9, Dane Bullock.
Drew Webb over there on first base. It brings Dane Bullock to the plate. Webb's got a lot of speed for the Cougars. Stole 9 bases last year, 16 the year before. He's got 37 overall as a Cougar. He's been now all 4 seasons. This is senior campaign. Just like Lotta, one of the local products. Lotta out of Northside High. Drew Webb from Brookstone High. Bonning delivers 0-1 way outside. Bonning's only given up 1 extra base knock this season. No home runs, just a double in his first 3 appearances of the year. 1-1 misses there, 2-1. Dane Bullock, 11 home runs last year for CSU in his first season. The transfer from Gordon State Junior College. He was a big addition to this Cougar lineup, and man, when he gets a hold of one, he's got a lot of power in that 6 foot, 205-pound frame. Can send them deep for the Cougars. 2-1 the count. Bonning delivers. 2-2. So an even count here with the senior Bullock at the plate. Webb takes off for second base. Bullock rips one, but that one's going to track foul outside the line there in left field as it went towards the dugout of the Cougars. Just a little bit out in front on that one was Dane Bullock. Otherwise, extra bases and potentially could have knocked Webb home since he took off for second. Pembroke catches a break there as Webb has to come all the way back to first. Probably won't see him run this time around. Bonning, the pitch, got him swinging right through that one. He went off speed that time. Bullock was way out in front. 2 down. Well, the hero of the third game, one of the heroes, I should say, of the third game of the series against Florida Southern last week, the one at the dish right now, Will Banks. His first home run as a Cougar. Hit that home run in the bottom of the 7th inning that capped off an incredible comeback for the Cougars. That home run put CSU on top 10-9, a scoreline which held right there until the finish. Webb taking off for second base, and he's going to make it in time as Drew Webb picks up his first stolen base this season. And it's just the 3rd stolen base for CSU this year. So that puts a runner in scoring position for CSU and allows Will Banks a chance to maybe pick up his 6th RBI of the year. We just watched the Braves have runners on first and second before they were sent back to the dugout on a fielder's choice with 2 outs. On the count to the sophomore. Here's Bonning. Will Banks over to first base, and that's going to stay in fair territory, unfortunately, for CSU, as the first baseman, Granger, will just touch the bag for the 3rd out. So neither team can get it done with a runner over there on second base. We're through 2. Still zeros up there on the board.
You can stop to make sure someone is okay. Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Opportunity to me means doing the things that will make you a better future. I always dreamed of graduating from college. So being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed was paying off. Having an athletic scholarship for the University of Mount Olive was key for my success. I had the opportunity to not only get an education, but be able to develop as an individual.
We've made it to the top of the third here on Cougar Sports TV. Neither team able to get a run across early in this one. This is the first of a three-game series here at Ragsdale Field. Should be a fun one all a weekend long. We'll be here on Cougar Sports TV for all three games, so you can catch all the action live here on our YouTube channel. The next two games will start with a scheduled 1 o'clock first pitch, both on Saturday and Sunday in the finale. Well, it looks as though the Lady Cougars are going to be getting things started out there at Cougar Field. So just across the way over at Cougar Field, Columbus State will get their first game of the tournament underway as they'll take on Albany State tonight. They are about set for first pitch. So we'll have both the baseball and softball teams happening at the same time. That always adds to the fun here on campus and adds to my own personal fun as I get to update both social medias while broadcasting this game. Things can get a little dicey at times, trying to juggle all those. But nothing better than all of our sports happening right here on the campus of Columbus State University. Full count. Gelfie the one at the plate. He goes right to McDade for out number one. So the Cougars got one hit in the second inning, but the Braves picked up two. Those are the only hits of the game so far for either team. It's been a little quiet at the start. Both of these Friday first day starters are showing why they are where they are. There's a reason they're starting on a Friday night. You usually end up seeing a pitcher's duel on these Friday night contests. Clemens hits that one over to first base, and Horn will take it himself for the unassisted out. 2 down. Clemens just got on top of that one, kind of a knuckleballer over there to Horn. So with 2 down, it brings up Hammonds, who grounded out to third base, his first time up. He'll get a second crack at Jalen Lotta. Right now, Lotta has only picked up 1 strikeout, a little surprising for the lefty, but plenty of outs left to go for the senior. He picked up that strikeout, by the way, in his first at-bat to the first batter of the game. Clemens, who you just saw ground out there. Right now, though, Lotta, all he cares about is putting his team in a chance to come away with a win to open up this series. 2-0 the count. Hammonds, that one low and inside on them, 3-0. Well, we watched Lotta run into a little bit of trouble in the top of the second with 2 outs. Gave up back-to-back singles. There's a strike called there. Make it 3-1. The 3-1 stays in the infield. Boughton will get a crack at it over the first base. Horan picks that one on up. 3 up, 3 down. A great job defensively there for the Cougars. We'll head to the bottom of the third here on Cougar Sports TV.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
NCAA Teamworks is how the NCAA, member schools, student athletes, and corporate champions and partners actively engage in outreach efforts where national championships are played. Through initiatives such as NCAA Community 101 service learning projects, disaster relief efforts, youth clinics, backpack and school supply donations, and support of Special Olympics and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the NCAA and its partners work together to leave a lasting legacy in the community. For more information on NCAA Teamworks, go to ncaa.com/teamworks.
It's a Valentine's Day special here at Ragsdale Field, and we'd surely love to see a Cougar win to open this series. McDade, the one to lead things off here for the Cougars. It'll be McDade, Curley, and then the top of the lineup coming back around with David Meadows. I'd like to welcome all of those who have joined us here on Cougar Sports TV for this Friday night game. Cougars and Braves. Braves 6-2 overall this season. CSU 5-2. That one's going to stay on the infield. Tough play to make over at third base, but the delivery made there by Gelfie came all the way up and barehanded that one for UNCP. Pretty play there defensively by the third baseman, Gelfie.
Now batting number
5-3 out there by McDade brings Connor Curley to the plate. Curley is having himself a start to his sophomore campaign. And he's going to be hit by that pitch. Quickly tosses the bat and will trot on over to first base. Well, he'll gladly take his base. And the Cougars will gladly see him over there at first base. One of the fastest runners on the base paths on the entire squad. I've already seen Drew Webb take off and steal a base. See if Curley runs on any action here for the Cougars. He, just like Webb, has not stolen the base all season. Picked up 4 of them last year for the Cougars. And he made 28 appearances for CSU. Here's the top of the lineup. Meadows struck out looking his first time up. Hitting just 250 so far. There goes Curley taking off, and all of a sudden he turned around. Man, he would have made second base easily there. Catcher behind the dish. Simpson dropped the ball, too, on top of it. Simpson would have had no chance to throw Curley out there. I'm not sure why all of a sudden he turned around halfway there. Not sure if he thought it was a hit and run and maybe got a little hesitant and turned around because Meadows had a check swing there. But it's going to make things a lot more difficult to try and take off now with Bonin paying a lot more attention to first base. Meadows with 8 hits on the season. All 8 of them have been singles for the Cougars. He's one of the transfers to this squad coming up from South Georgia State College, where he was an all-conference second team selection last year, a Gold Glove winner as well. So Curley, the one over there at first, one down. Meadows at the plate. And again, Bonning's going to go back to first. One-two pitch, Curley taking off. This time he's not turning around, and he's going to get in there safely for a stolen base. So Connor Curley picks up his first stolen base of the season. Just like Drew Webb gets in there easily. And it puts a runner in scoring position here with the top of the lineup up for CSU. Eliminates the potential inning-ending double play as well. At least the conventional one. So a good opportunity here for CSU to strike first. Meadows over to short. They decide to go to third base to get Curley out, and they got him. Wow, an aggressive play there by the shortstop. And yeah, if you hit that ball over to the shortstop and you take off for third base, better believe that you're going to make it there, because that was a short throw needed. But a good call there by the shortstop Mobley to get Curley, the lead runner, out. So erase the runner in scoring position off the board. But a heads-up, smart play there made by Mobley. Easily got Curley out at third. So Meadows is the one over at first base for the Cougars with one out, and he's going to take off for second. They're trying to pick up their third stolen base of the game. Got there in time. Runner in scoring position again for CSU. Third stolen base of the game. We're only in the bottom of the third. Cougars taking off running, maybe making up for what we haven't seen all season, and I've been curious all year long. They just have not been aggressive on the base paths as far as attempting steals. They're just 2 for 3 on the season coming into this one, and now they're a perfect 3 for 3 today. That's the second stolen base of the season for Meadows. He had one of the 2 stolen bases coming into this game. It was him and Dane Bullock that had the 2 stolen bases. Maybe the Cougars feel like they can get a good jump on Bonning and can beat out the throw from Simpson, and well, it certainly worked out in their favor in the early goings. Boughton, the one who gets a chance to deliver the first run of the game on the board for CSU. He's ahead in the count 3-0. We'll see if he's sitting all the way here. Called strike 3-1. Still looking for the first run of the game from either team. Boughton with 4 RBIs on the season. Bonning going through the calls. 3-1 the count. Meadows over on second base. Boughton grounded out to short his first time up. The 3-1 pitch misses outside, ball 4. So Boughton will walk his way over to first base. Runners on first and second with 2 outs for Robert Brooks.
Now batting number 19, Robert Brooks.
No extra base hits this season. Now's your chance to get your first extra base knock. Brooks known for his power and his ability to swing for the fences. Had 24 extra base knocks last year as a sophomore, 19 in his freshman season, or 20, I should say. Forgot he had a triple. Brooks sends one high into left field. Hammonds is going back at the warning track. Oh my goodness, at the wall. Out number 3 as Brooks was inches shy of a 3-run bomb for the Cougars. We're through 3. Let's head to the 4th. Still scoreless here on Cougar Sports TV. Cougars just missed out on what would have been a 3-run home run for Robert Brooks. Would have been his first of the season. Looked like it just got caught up in the wind, as of course, as he hit that one, the wind all of a sudden is blowing in on us. Otherwise, that ball was out of here into left field. So unfortunate there for the Cougars. Can't quite get the first runs of the game up there on the board. Jalen Lotta out here to start his 4th inning of work for CSU. Baucom will lead things off. It'll be Baucom, Mobley, and Ryan here in the top of the 4th. Baucom, one of the star players for UNC Pembroke, a guy that's been a great player throughout the years for UNCP, and one of the best inside the entire Peach Belt Conference. One of the best players out there as he hits it well into right field, but Webb is there for out number 1. 20 home runs last season for Baucom as the outfielder flies out to right.
Number 13, Jared Mobley.
Mobley grounded out to third his first time up, with Ryan on deck. Right now the Cougars, with Jalen Lotta up there on the mound, have been cruising early in this one. That's what we like to see with Jalen Lotta up there for CSU. A little bit of a different sight from his first 2 outings when he saw so many different base runners on the base paths, but continued to find his way out of jams in those first 2 games. This time around, base paths for the most part have been pretty clean. 1, 2, 3 innings in the first and third innings for Lotta. Here's the 2-1. The Mobley grounds that one. It's going to get, doesn't get past Balton, who makes a spinning throw over, and it's dug out by Horn. I did not think he was going to have a chance at that one. What a play, Balton. Man, deep in the hole there over at short. That one was hit well, and I thought for sure that that one was probably going to skirt into the outfield. Shame on me for fooling Balton over there at short. He looked like some of the shortstops that we've had in years past, making some ridiculous defensive plays for CSU. So 2 down, bases empty here for Lotta. 1-1 the count. Great to see Boughton back out there after he got his teeth knocked out during BP of Wednesday's game. No better place to see him than out there on the field with his teeth back in there inside of his mouth and feeling well, apparently. Apparently he's feeling even better. Still think that's one of the crazier stories that I've heard. Fungo was being hit, ball hopped up on Boughton, and next thing you know, there's teeth out there on the ground. Look at Drew Webb, he got it! Drew Webb out there in right field making a diving grab. Wow, the defense came to play in that inning for the Cougars. Two spectacular plays for CSU defensively. It allows Jalen Latta to go 1, 2, 3. Let's head to the bottom of the fourth here on Cougar Sports TV.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
On and off the court, we're focused on creating lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. More college athletes are earning degrees than ever before, but we've still got work to do. That's why we're raising the bar for incoming freshmen, so they're prepared when they get to campus. And why teams can't play in championships unless they make the grade. Education matters, and putting academics first creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity. While they're focused on success, we're focused on them. Because
Wow, I can't get over those two defensive plays for CSU. Drew Webb out there in right field making a diving grab on the run. And Isaac Boughton right before him also making a spectacular play deep in the hole at short. Well, two great defensive plays for CSU. Let's see if the Bats can follow it up. You know what happens. You make a great play defensively, you come back on offense and deliver. Wouldn't mind seeing that here. Remember, Horn was the one who dug that out over at first base. A great pick play there by Horn to grab the ball sent from short by Boughton. Horn, the left-handed hitter. 0-1 the count, make it 0-2. Cougar Bats just have one hit so far through 3 innings of work. Bryson Horn, one of the batters that can definitely get it done for CSU. Hitting over 400 so far this season. Off the end of the bat, fouls that one off. Bonnie on the mound for UNC Pembroke to open up this 3-game series. Here's the 0-2. Barely hit in front of him. Bonning's going to have to make a play, and he sailed that one all the way towards the bullpen area for UNC Pembroke. They're waving their hands, saying that that one got stuck up against the fence. Unreachable and out of play. As the pitcher, Bonning, just sailed that one high. He would have gotten the batter in time had he kept it on frame, even though it was slowly hit right in front of him. As the umpires gather themselves together. Ball got lost way over there, right by the tarp, up against the fence. Umpires gathered together. Horn should be over there on second base. as he advances on the error for CSU. Okay, so Horan gets the job done for CSU. Now let's see if Webb can follow after Webb made that diving grab out in right field. Drew Webb picked up a single his first time up. Remember, he was first runner in scoring position for CSU. Got to second base after he stole second, but Cougar bats unable to bring him home. 0 runs, 2 hits for both teams. Cougars threatening here, though, with no outs. Horan over on second base. Webb shows bunt, plays it perfectly. Right over there to third base. Only play to make is at first, but it puts Bryson Horan just 90 feet away from putting the first run up on the board.
Now batting number 9, Dane Bullock.
So the sack bunt played out perfectly there by the Cougars. Dane Bullock up here at the plate for CSU, looking to pick up what would be just his 4th RBI this season. Wind still blowing in here at Ragsdale Field. Balls just have not been going far. It's been getting caught up in the wind. You saw Robert Brooks's would-be home run out there to left field get caught up in the wind and dive right up against the wall. Bullock struck out his first time up back in the 2nd inning. Chance for redemption here. The Cougars are looking to get the first run of the game. Here's the 0-1 from Bonning. "32 RBIs last year for Dane Bullock and 49 games of work for CSU. He was such a major addition for the Cougars last year. The 1-1 pitch. Got a nice turnout here on Valentine's Day at Ragsdale Field. Saw some of our tennis players in attendance. Got our soccer girls here supporting our baseball team. Some former baseball players in attendance as well. It's good to see some familiar faces around the park here inside Burger King Stadium. 1-2 inside on Bullock. Almost got him there. 2-2. Runner on third base, that's Bryson Horn. 2-2 the count to Bullock, 1 down. Here's Bonning. It's a tough pitch to stay alive on by Bullock. Well, an update for you with the Lady Cougars in action just across the way. They're on top of Albany State in the 1st inning, 3-1. Got some scoring happening over there at Cougar Field. It looks like it was Paige Vincent who delivered the big hit. A 2 RBI single into left field for the Lady Cougars. Columbus State, the softball team, had themselves a nice weekend last week. Trying to keep things rolling. Another home tournament here for CSU. 2-2 the count. Bullock hits that one high in the air, shallow center field. Right fielder coming up late, has to make a basket catch. That was Clemens. The second baseman, Ryan, had been backtracking and then all of a sudden stepped up and Clemens came in. And boy, lucky for UNCP. Little basket catch there by Clemens for out number 2. Again, that one, too, got caught up in the wind, and with the wind blowing in, it was probably pushing that one more and more shallow for the right fielder, Clements. But regardless, Braves get the second out, and it keeps Horn over there at third. Well, after what we saw last weekend with Will Wilbanks, we know he can hit one out of the park. Made just 13 appearances for the Cougars last season as a freshman. But he's been inserted into the starting lineup for CSU this year, and it's paid big dividends for the Cougars. He's hitting .429 on the year. 4 extra base hits. 1-1 the count to the sophomore. Swung right through that one. Both of these pitchers have worked themselves out of jams to keep zeros up there on the scoreboard. Cougars trying to finally do some damage against Bonning. But they have 2 outs here with Wilbanks at the plate. Both of these two teams, they've been putting the ball in play, albeit for the most part not really leaving the infield. A lot of grounders on the infield. But these are two pitchers that can rack up the strikeouts. Just 2 so far for Bonning and only 1 for Latta. Bonning had 7 Ks in just 3 1/3 in his start against Queens. Latta's had 8 strikeouts in both of his 2 starts this year. Here's the 2-2 with 2 down. Wilbanks hits that one over to the second baseman. Ryan backhands it and makes the throw over the first. So the Cougars get a runner over there on third base and can't do anything with it. We're still knotted up at zeros here at Ragsdale Field through 4.
While they're focused on success, we're focused on them. Because protecting college athletes doesn't only happen on the field. After the buzzer, it's about healthier student athletes. So we're reforming to meet their needs, investing in groundbreaking research, and changing the conversation around mental health. We're working hard to protect college athletes because prioritizing their well-being creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity. Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes, college sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
Top of the 5th inning here inside Burger King Stadium. Still scoreless. Zeros up there on the board. Neither team able to get anything going in the early stages of this one. Latta goes back to work for CSU. Simpson, the one to lead things off here. Remember, back in the second inning, he's the one who picked up the first hit of the game for the Braves. Started a back-to-back 2-out singles by the Braves before a ground out got Latta out of the jam. So it's Simpson, Dixon, and Granger, the 3 at the plate here for UNCP. The 0-2, a little whiff there by Simpson. There's the second strikeout recorded by Latta. Lada has been spectacular so far on the mound for CSU. He's only thrown 62 pitches so far, allowed just 2 hits with 2 strikeouts. Here's Dixon. Fouls that one back. He's quickly behind 0-2. A lot of what Lada has been doing so far in the first few innings of this one is getting ahead in the counts. And that's obviously been helping him out a ton. We've continually seen him ahead 0-1, sometimes 0-2. Hasn't really been picking up the strikeouts, but it's been forcing these batters to be on alert and have to battle at the plate and put balls in play. And Lada's been racking up the ground outs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Another grounder softly over to Boughton. Can he make another long throw? Yes, sir, he can. That one just knuckled its way over to short. Kind of died there on the infield, but Boughton gets out number 2.
Now batting number 40, Connor Granger.
So with 2 down, the bases are empty, and it brings Granger up to the plate. Grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up. Here's Webb out there in right field. That one hangs up on him and then goes right behind him. He's going to try to make the throw over to second base. Not quite in time. Wind playing tricks on Webb. He just overran it out there in right. That'll be an error on Webb in right field. Well, unfortunate for Webb after he made that incredible diving grab in right center field just 1 inning ago. So the E9 puts Granger over there in scoring possession on second base, and now Lada has got to get himself out here with Gelfie at the plate. Gelfie looks at a strike to start. Gelfie looks at a ball on the outside there, evens the count at 1-1. Top of the 5th, it's the first game of a 3-game set here at Ragsdale Field between the Braves and Cougars. This is the first conference game of the year. Man, we're already into PBC play. Love it. A lot of D1 schools starting their baseball seasons this weekend. Seen a lot of tweets from all across the nation from these baseball squads. Excited to get underway. You know, spring training. Players have started to report to spring training. It's that time of the year. Hard pressed to find a better time of the year. A lot of sports happening. 2-2 the count. 2 down. Runner over on second base. Lada trying to get out of this inning and put another 0 up on the board, and he does. A swinging strike right there by Gelfie. He'll have to head back to the dugout. Cougars still knotted up at 0s here as we head to the bottom of the 5th on Cougar Sports TV.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay, get in the way, and disrupt the situation.
Codify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
From court to court and lane to lane under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the
Welcome back here on Cougar Sports TV as Matthew McDade will lead things off here for CSU. 4 combined hits between these two squads and 0 runs so far as we enter the bottom of the 5th. McDade, Curley, and Meadows, the 3 hitters for CSU. Well, Cougars had the best chance in the previous inning when they saw Horn over there on third base with 1 out. But a fly out in the right by Bullock and then a ground out by Wilbanks ended the threat there for the Cougars. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Just misses there, 1-2. McDade grounded out to third his first time up. The 1-2. McDade rips that one foul. Matthew McDade hitting over 300 this season. He had a fantastic freshman year as a Cougar. Started his way over there at the hot corner at third. He's moved over to second base with Meadows over there at third this season. But he hit .278 for CSU last year, picked up 20 RBIs, 23 runs, and played some great defense for the Cougars. He'll be in that infield for years to come for CSU. There's McDade lifting that one into center field. Baucom will head on over and make the grab for out number 1. Well, Cougar fans, make sure you follow the CSU basketball teams on the road this weekend. They are heading on down to St. Augustine to take on Flagler. The Lady Cougars and the men's basketball team will be in action tomorrow afternoon. Curley, the one at the plate here for the Cougars. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. He's quickly behind 0-2. Bonning really settling in nicely here for the Braves. Him and Lotta have been in a pitcher's duel through 5 innings of work. 0-2 pitch misses inside, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch, that one goes outside, 2-2. So Bonning just missing it inside and barely missing it outside. Back-to-back pitches there, evens up the count. Two, one down, base is empty. That one misses inside again. We've got a full count. What a job by Connor Curley, working back from an 0-2 count to make it a full count here. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss there by Curley. So he strikes out. Third strikeout of the game for Bonning, and 2 are down here for CSU. So it's the top of the lineup coming back up for the Cougars, as David Meadows will be the one at the plate here for CSU. Meadows 0 for 2, grounded into a fielder's choice, struck out. He's hitting .250 for the Cougars. He's been in that leadoff spot all season long for CSU. They've been pretty consistent with their lineup coach. Yap has been. Meadows, Boughton, and Brooks continually been up there at the top of the lineup for CSU. Here's the 1-1 pitch. 1-2. By the way, the Lady Cougar softball team, they are out in front 6-1 after 1 inning of play. They picked up 4 hits and 6 runs in the first inning. That's a way to start your tournament here at Cougar Field. Two and two the count, 2 down. That pitch goes over the head of Meadows, who just has to duck underneath it. So another count that's worked itself full for Bonning. Payoff pitch. Meadows, a little bloop into right field. Right fielder Clemens coming all the way up. The second baseman, Ryan, collides into him, and the ball drops. Those two right together in shallow right field, and it drops to the ground as the Cougars will have a runner over on first base. Just picked the perfect spot to hit it if you're Meadows. Tough play to make for either player there, as Meadows will be on first base. They'll put a hit up there on the board for CSU. And Coach O'Neill will head out of the dugout. Have a word here with Bonning out there on the mound. Well, they don't have any action happening in the bullpen. Got a couple guys just sitting out there, but no one's been up and throwing for UNCP. Just a short little mound visit here for the Braves. A 6-2 team so far this season. They picked up a series win against Shepherd first weekend of the year. They won 2 out of 3 against Shepherd. Then defeated Queens 13-3, a blowout win back on February 4th. And then took another series, this time against Lock Haven, 2-1. They lost the first game 4-3 and then stormed back and won the next 2 by a combined 31-6. 31 runs in 2 games, that's pretty decent. And then they followed that up with a 14-3 win against Truan. So, man, some huge outputs by this UNCP offense. I think that's what is the craziest thing that we've seen so far this afternoon, is they just have 2 hits. That's it. No runs, 2 hits. And this is a team that has continually been putting up double-digit runs so far this season. They've been mashing the ball, but right now Jalen Lotta has just been shoving it for the Cougars. The 0-1 deep in the hole, and it's going to get passed into left field through the left side as it went right in between third and short. Base knock by Boughton puts runners on first and second for the Cougars. Well, it will give Robert Brooks a chance to deliver once again for CSU. He had the 2 runners on the last time up when he flied all the way out to the wall. By the way, it was Meadows and Boughton on the base paths on first and second when Brooks was up back in the 3rd inning. The wind still blowing in. Hasn't changed much. Still going to be difficult to hit one out, especially over there at left field. Couple of flyouts for Brooks. One to right, one to left. Bonning, the 1-0 pitch, went off speed there, caught the outside corner, 1-1. Two and one now, the count to Brooks as he looks at a ball there. Bonning really taking his time for the Braves. 2-1 the count. 2 on, 2 down. Here's the pitch. Brooks lifts that one into right field, tracking towards foul territory. It's going to be too far to reach there for Clemens as he goes all the way up against the tarp. That time the wind pushing that one and helping that one to get out of the reach of Clemens out there and right. Robert Brooks, originally from Marietta, Georgia, at a Wheeler High. Came to the Cougars as a freshman, straight out of high school, and promptly led the Cougars in batting average as a freshman. Hit .337 his freshman season, and I will never forget his freshman year. Everyone just kind of looking around wondering, who is this guy? This guy has come here as a freshman, and here he is as a junior delivering a big hit in the opening game of this series. A double down the line. It's going to skirt all the way to the wall. It got lost out there and left by Hammonds. Look at Brooks chugging his way to third base. 2-run score. Cougars get the first runs of the game. Who is this kid? Well, his name is Robert Brooks, and he cranked a double to plate 2. CSU on top. A 2-out clutch extra base hit there by Brooks down the left field line. And the Cougars are on top 2-0. Brings up Bryson Horn. There's the pitch, called strike there. So they're officially going to give Brooks a triple on that one with the carom that happened off of the fence over there in left field. getting past Hammonds, going all the way to the wall, right by the 3:30 mark, and the foul pole. Two and one the count, two down. Here's Bryson Horn hitting it well into center field, right center field, but the center fielder is going to get over there in time as it hung up there for Bauckham. And the third and final out, but not before Robert Brooks delivering for CSU. They played the first runs of this game. Cougars on top, 2-0.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
It's more than a whistle or a call. We're committed to giving college athletes a fair shot, on and off the field. Covering the full cost of attendance, because college costs go beyond tuition. Keeping dreams on track, regardless of performance or injury, and creating equal opportunities and inclusive environments. It's about respecting college athletes and prioritizing fairness to build a pathway to lifelong opportunity.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experience as possible.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Back here at Ragsdale Field as we start the top of the sixth inning. Cougars in front 2-0 thanks to Robert Brooks, the junior, coming up with a clutch extra base hit. Down the left field line, bounced all the way to the wall as Brooks gets credited with a triple. And CSU has the lead. Let's see how Lotta will pitch now with a lead. Keep things rolling here for the Cougars. Nothing you want to see more if you're Coach Shackleton than to get a 0 up on the board after you plate 2 runs. Don't want to give it right back. It's what happened all series against Florida Southern last week, and the Cougars continually gave their runs back. Anytime they would put something up on the board, Florida Southern would find a way to respond. Here's Clemens at the plate. Lotta, the 2-1, 2-2. That pitch catches the outside corner. Clemens going to have to walk back to the dugout. Second time he's struck out today.
Now batting, number 8, Gage.
Lotta feeling real comfortable up there on the mound in this one. He's beginning his 6th inning of work. He's given up just 2 hits, no runs. A swing and a miss there by Hammonds to start this at-bat. Hammonds, the junior left fielder for UNC Pembroke. Sends that one over to Balton for out number 2. Boy, Balton, really the entire infield between Balton, McDade, Meadows, Horn, they have been extremely busy this entire game. It's a phrase you like to hear, though. If you're a Cougar fan, it means there's a lot of balls on the infield. Not much getting in the air with Lotta out there on the mound this evening. That one chopped foul towards the Cougar dugout, 1-1 the count. Game goes right back over there. 1-2. Baucom the one at the plate. Lotta looking to go 1-2-3 for the fourth time today. Would be the fourth time in six innings. 1-2 the count. That one in the dirt, 2-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fouled back. Baucom just staying alive. In a battle here against Jalen Lotta. Another one that goes foul. Baucom will have to head all the way back to home plate. Cougars 5-2 on the season so far. 2 of their wins came against Florida Southern, and they swept their opening weekend. It was against 3 different opponents. Took down St. Leo, Catawba, and Barton in a weekend tournament down in Tampa, Florida. A real great opening weekend for CSU. Couldn't have asked for a better start to their season. The only real blemish so far, other than that Florida Southern loss, was the loss against Albany State. Look at McDade all the way over to first base, fading away. Matthew McDade. He saw Boughton and Webb flash the leather, said, let me get in on this action. McDade makes the play. Let's head to the bottom of the 6th. Cougar defense balling out.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Back here at Ragsdale Field, Cougars in front 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Bonning's evening is complete as the lefty Landon Smith will take the mound for UNCP.
Now batting number 11,
So Bonning had pitched real well for the Braves. Just ran into a little bit of trouble there in the bottom of the 5th inning when the Cougars made him pay. Thanks to the Robert Brooks 2 RBI triple. And it brings Landon Smith to the mound for UNCP. He'll face Drew Webb to lead things off. And he looks at a strike there to make it a 1-1 count. It'll be Webb, Bullock, and Wilbanks. Smith's pitch settles in for a strike, 1-2. He works a lot faster than Bonning. More similar to Jalen Lotta. That pitch grounded up the middle. Over there is Ryan from second base. 1 down.
Now batting number 9, Dane Bullock.
Here's Dane Bullock for the Cougars, 0 for 2 on the afternoon. He sends that one towards the Pembroke dugout. Dane Bullock, a guy that has been trying to get things going here and that the Cougars would really like to see get going at the plate. He's hitting just .250 so far in the year. And no home runs for Bullock as that pitch is high, 1-1. Pitch from Smith, fouled off there. So Landon Smith, the left-handed junior from Archdale, North Carolina, has been with UNCP from the get-go. He's making his 5th appearance here this season. He's actually picked up a couple of wins, but this is a guy that has been absolutely electric up on the mound for UNCP this season. Nearly unhittable for the Braves. 11 Ks and 8 1/3 and 4 relief appearances, and he's given up just 2 hits. What a start to his junior season, which has been completely different from what we saw from him his freshman and sophomore years. Bauckham ran up on that one originally and has to backtrack for out number 2. But Smith had ERAs above 5 for his first 2 seasons as a Brave. 5.63 his freshman year, 6.35 last year as a sophomore. He can strike out with the best of them, but he had been giving up a lot of extra base hits. That's been his big problem that he's had up there on the mound. 18 home runs and 32 doubles through his first 2 seasons. But how about the bounce back this year? Not a single double or home run given up by Smith through 8 1/3. And he's got 2 quick outs here to the Cougars. It's Wilbanks, lefty on lefty, 1-1 the count. That one is going to track out of play. Wilbanks will stay alive here for CSU. By the way, the Lady Cougars in action over at Cougar Field. A quick update on them. 7-1 now the score in the bottom of the 3rd inning, as the Lady Cougars have tacked on another run. They plated those 6 in the opening inning. So they're on top of Albany State 7-1. Great start so far, at least. Hopefully they can finish things out, pick up the win here to open up their tournament. 1-2 the count, 2 down, base paths empty here for Wilbanks. Couple of ground outs in his first 2 plate appearances. There's a pitch and a strikeout there by Wilbanks. Will end the 6th inning of play. All right, let's head to the 7th inning. Cougars still on top, 2-0.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% would go pro. That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Don't you worry.
So here's Lotta out there on the mound to start his 7th inning of work. Jalen Lotta for the Cougars. He went 5 innings in his first start of the year against St. Leo, 6 in his second start against Florida Southern. We're just working our way up 1 inning at a time. Let's try and go 7, maybe more here for the Cougars. That one goes to the backstop. First pitch of the 7th with Mobley up there at the plate. 4th, 3 up, 3 down innings for Jalen Lotta. Let's tack on another one here in the 7th. Mobley, Ryan, and Simpson, the 3 at the plate here for the Braves. Cougars have a little bit of action in their bullpen. Can't quite see through the netting who is down there right now, but it looks like 2 are up, warming up right now for CSU. Lotta quickly behind 3-0. Gets a strike there, though. 3-1. And a walk is drawn there by Mobley. That's the first walk of the game for Jalen Lotta. How about that? He's got 4 Ks and now 1 walk in this one.
Now batting, number 15, River Ryan.
Well, Lotta's got some work to do here if he wants to get through 7 innings. Leadoff batter was walked, and River Ryan, the one at the plate. And with Ryan and Simpson, you've got to be extremely careful. Both players hitting over 450 through 8 games. He's done well so far. They're a combined 1 for 4. Simpson does have 1 of the 2 Pembroke hits. Pitch there, grounded towards McDade. A flip over to short, a chance to go 4-6-3. A double play turn there by the Cougars. Defense coming through clutch there for CSU. As Ryan grounds into a double play, the Cougar defense gets another DP turned up there on the board. Telling you, this infield defense is really starting to settle in nicely for the Cougars. That one, though, gets through the left side. It's going to be the second hit of the game by Simpson. Good thing they got that double play. As it's just a runner over there on first base, and Simpson with that 2-out single. It's going to bring Dixon up. Remember, back in the second inning, Simpson and Dixon both hit 2-out singles. Put them on first and second base before Granger grounded out. Want to know the count here to Dixon. That pitch low and inside. Another ball sent in there by Jalen Lotta. Come on, Lotta, just one more out to go. Give him 7 strong innings. It'd be 7 strong shutout innings if he can just get one more out. That pitch, though, outside, ball 4. It's going to put runners on first and second. We'll see what Coach Appleton decides to do. There's a pitcher ready in the bullpen right now for the Cougars as they're waiting on the call. It looks like Lotta's going to be given another chance here. So just like the second inning, Simpson and Dixon reach the base paths with 2 outs. Can it be just like the second inning where they are stranded? Cougars right now clinging to that 2-0 lead. Top of the 7th inning here at Ragsdale Field, and it's Granger up at the plate. Reached on an E9 and grounded into that fielder's choice with 2 on back in the second. This time around, he's ahead in the count to start. The 0-1, now 0-2. Big swing and a miss there from Granger. One more strike to go for Jalen Lotta. Here's the pitch. Got him swinging. What a performance tonight by Jalen Lotta. 7 strong shutout innings thrown by the senior from Northside High. And he'll head back to the dugout with a 2-0 lead. Stretch it out. Let's head to the bottom of the 7th after this.
Kids fall in love with sports. Our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Back here at Ragsdale Field, Cougars on top 2-0. How about Jalen Lotta? Huge 2-out strikeout to strand the runners on first and second. That's exactly what the Cougars ordered, as Jalen Lotta picked up his 5th strikeout of the game. Presume his night 2 most likely be done, and if that's the case, he went 7 strong innings, pitching a shutout, giving up just 3 hits with 5 strikeouts. That's a quality start right there for Lotta. You know, I had been talking down in the dugout with former pitcher Perez Knowles for the Cougars, talking about Jalen Lotta and some of the bad luck that he's run into through his first 2 starts. And we had said, you know what, today's the day. He's getting a quality start, and he's going to have a good performance for CSU. Well, there it is up there on the board. 7 innings of work for the senior. Smith back out there for UNCP, as McDade leading things off here for the Cougars. Two and two the count. Curley on deck. Here's Smith. That pitch high and outside. Excuse me, it was 3-2. Scoreboard was wrong there. That's ball 4 as McDade will walk on over to first base. So McDade draws a walk to open up the bottom of the 7th. Brings Curley up, and then the top of the lineup coming back around for CSU. By the way, another update over at Cougar Field as the Lady Cougars have tacked on another run. It's now 8-1 through 3 innings with Columbus State on top. Curley laying down the bunt. This is going to be a tough play to make. Curley racing down to first base, and he's safe. Connor Curley legging out the bunt. That's a way to get your first hit of the game if you're Connor Curley. Picks up the bunt single, and it puts McDade over there on second base. So 2 now on the base paths for CSU. They're in business to tack on some insurance runs. So here's the top of the lineup, David Meadows at the plate. He singled his last time up. Eventually came around to score. Him and Boughton, the 2 runs for CSU in this one. Meadows showing bunt. Infielders come all the way in. Just goes foul. See if Meadows tries to bunt again with runners over on first and second. Smith going through his progression. And Meadows is showing bunt. Here comes the infield. Lays that one down nicely. Well done, and it's misfielded there by Smith. My goodness, Smith unable to pick up the ball that was right in front of him. And it's going to put the bases loaded.
Now batting number 2, Isaac Boughton.
So an error there by Smith trying to pick the ball up. He just took his eyes off of it. Might have started to look towards first base. And because of it, it's loaded the bases here for the Cougars with no outs. And it's going to bring Paul O'Neill out of the dugout for UNCP. It'll be Boughton, the one at the plate for the Cougars with the bases loaded. You know this scenario. We saw bases loaded a whole lot all of last weekend against Florida Southern. In fact, at one point, the Cougars loaded the bases in 4 consecutive innings. Although they struggled with the bases loaded and actually delivering that key and clutch hit. Hopefully this time around it will be a little bit different. Could really use the insurance runs for a CSU. They have just those 2 runs that came back in the bottom of the 5th inning from Robert Brooks, who, by the way, is actually on deck right behind Boughton. This meeting on the mound is taking a little bit longer than usual. Surprised the umpire hasn't broken things up. The home plate umpire is in the middle of it right now with the head coach and finally gets them to break things up. So here we go, Isaac Boughton at the plate. 1 for 2. Had that single in the 5th, walked in the 3rd, grounded out in the 1st. Boughton, 4 RBIs this year. First pitch by Smith, outside, misses for ball 1. Want to know the count? Smith delivers. Boughton thought about it. Called strike. Smith taking his time, sends that pitch in. Boughton lofts that one into left field. Should be deep enough to be a sac fly. As a runner over on third base, McDade will get all the way into home plate and tack on the 3rd run of the game. Good job there by Boughton to at least get one across for CSU. Makes it 3-0. So Robert Brooks will step back up with runners on 1st and 2nd, well, just like his last time at the plate. Runners on 1st and 2nd, 1 down. Bullpen getting warmed up for both sides. Smith has himself in a big jam here in the bottom of the 7th. Want to know the count? Smith goes off speed, misses there, 2-1. Brooks with 2 RBIs thanks to that triple back in the 5th inning. Here's the pitch from Smith. Again, misses outside. And Brooks way ahead in the count here for the Cougars. Cougars trying to continue to add to this lead here at Ragsdale Field. Really just want to pick up the win to get off to a good start in conference play. Looking all the way, called strike makes it 3-1. Here's the pitch from Smith. Brooks fouls that one off himself. We'll make it a full count. Big pitch upcoming here for both of these teams. Cougars trying to add to this lead. Oh, Pembroke trying to work themselves out of a jam. 3-2 the count. Cougs on top, 3-0. Smith looks back at second base. Runners take off. Doesn't matter. That's going to be a ball low and in the dirt. Brooks will head on over to first base. Bases are loaded once again. So here's Bryson Horn at the plate for CSU. 4 RBIs on the year, and the bases are loaded, and it gets through the hole in the right side. 1 run is going to score on the RBI single by Bryson Horn. Make it 4-0, Cougs on top. Connor Curley gets the run for the Cougars. Meadows at third, Brooks at second, Horn at first after his RBI single. So Boughton had the sac fly RBI. Horn picks up the RBI single, and it puts Drew Webb at the plate for CSU. And he skies that one high and slams the bat down. Infield fly there. 2 down. Just got underneath that one and missed it. Bases still loaded out there for CSU. Dane Bullock will be the one at the plate now for the Cougars. Bullock 0 for 3, couple of flyouts and a strikeout. This is a moment for one of those patented Dane Bullock hits. Guy that can hit with a lot of power, pick up extra bases. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Ragsdale Field. Cougars now enjoying a 4-0 lead. They've doubled up their lead here with 2 runs. Tacked on, Bullock swings right through that off-speed pitch. Smith going through the calls. Boy, he's been working real slow. He's all of a sudden put this game to a crawling pace here in the 7th inning. Taking his time, but he's in himself a big jam, and there is a base knock into left center field, making extra bases. That was the hit we were calling for. Be mine, number 9. A 3 RBI double clears the bases for the Cougars. It's a blowout here at Ragsdale. Dane Bullock clearing the bases for the Cougars, and Landon Smith is going to have to head back to the dugout. That's going to be it for him. We'll take a quick break here on Cougar Sports TV. 7-0 now, CSU on top.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
We can stop to make sure someone is okay, get in the way, and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Opportunity to me means doing the things that will make you a better future. I always dream.
Back here at Ragsdale Field as the Cougars have busted this one open, 7-0. They now sit in front of the Braves. Dane Bullock, we were looking for that extra base hit as he cleared the bases with a double there for CSU. 5 runs here in the bottom of the 7th inning. New pitcher out there is R.J. Van Vickel from Fredericksburg, Virginia, one of the transfers to this UNCP squad. So Smith, who had been unhittable all season long, got absolutely torched out there by the Cougar bats. You see Wilbanks foul that one off. Smith goes 1 2/3, gives up 3 hits, 5 runs. Only 2 were earned, although the error was actually his error to load the bases, and he walked 2 as well. Wilbanks in a 1-2 count here for the Cougars. It's Dane Bullock over there on second base. Van Vickels' pitch. That one rolled over to Ryan at second, and there's the third and final out that UNC Pembroke got, but not before it was too late. The Cougar bats awaken here in the bottom of the seventh. They're on top 7-0. Let's head to the eighth here on Cougar Sports TV.
Opportunity to me means doing the things that will make you a better future. I always dreamed of graduating from college. So being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed was paying off. Having an athletic scholarship for the University of Mount Olive was key for my success. I had the opportunity to not only get an education, but be able to develop as an individual.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
NCAA Teamworks is how the NCAA, member schools, student athletes, and corporate champions and partners actively engage in outreach efforts where national championships are played. Through initiatives such as NCAA Community 101 service learning projects, disaster relief efforts, youth clinics, backpack and school supply donations, and support of Special Olympics and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the NCAA and its partners work together to leave a lasting legacy in the community. For more information on NCAA Teamworks, go to ncaa.com/teamworks.
To the top of the eighth we go here at Ragsdale Field. Miles Dutton has come in, so Jalen Lotta's night is complete. What a night it was. 7 strong, 103 pitches, gave up just 3 hits, no earned with 5 Ks. And he got the job done for CSU out there in line for the win, as long as the Cougars can hang on to this 7-run advantage. So Dutton out there for CSU, making his 3rd appearance this season. He's gone 2 2/3 for the Cougars. Giving up 3 hits, 2 earned with 3 strikeouts. Had a great first outing before he ran into some trouble against Florida Southern last weekend in his 2nd appearance. See if he can bounce back here tonight. The clean 8th inning for CSU. Gelfie, the one at the plate, and then the top of the lineup coming back around with Clemens and Hammonds to follow. Two and two the count. Gelfie swings and misses there on an outside pitch. 1 down. Just an update as to what's happening over there at Cougar Field. The Lady Cougars are now on top 9-1. They've tacked on another run. A lot of wild pitches happening over there at Cougar Field. I believe they've scored 3 of their 9 runs off of wild pitches. Pitch there, catches the outside corner. Clemens quickly behind 0-2. Miles Dutton, one of the senior pitchers for the Cougars. Him and Jalen Lotta usually teaming up together on these Friday nights. Dutton redshirted last year for CSU, originally from Woodstock, Georgia. There's the called 3rd strike on the outside corner. Clemens will have to head back to the dugout. 2nd time he struck out looking. 3rd strikeout overall for Clemens. So 9 pitches and 2 strikeouts for Dutton. Let's get one more quick out here with Hammonds at the plate. Don't forget the Cougars will be in action tomorrow and Sunday. So make sure you join us for all 3 games of this series. Both games on Saturday and Sunday with first pitch times at 1 p.m. local time. or you can head on down here to Ragsdale Field, catch all the action here at the field. Action happening over at Cougar Field as well all weekend long, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. With that tournament happening over there, hosted by Columbus State. Pitch just misses there, 2-1. Temperatures have dropped significantly here at Burger King Stadium. That was nice and toasty. Now it's getting a little chilly with the wind blowing in as well. There's a called strike to make it 2-2. Shouldn't really complain too much about 55 degrees, but, you know, with the wind blowing, makes it a little cold. There's a pitch that's fouled out of play there by Hammonds to stay alive. We just want to get through these next 2 innings real quick. You know, we're just looking out for y'all. Want to get y'all off to your Valentine's Day activities tonight. We'd love to pick up a win here if you're a Cougar fan, and then you can head on out and celebrate. Have yourself a happy Valentine's Day. I knew I was going to be down here at the baseball fields, and then I'll be over at the softball fields immediately following the end of this one. So my wife and I had to celebrate our Valentine's Day yesterday. And that's going to be ball 4, not strike 3. Robert Brooks smiles dead, and I think everyone was thinking it was strike 3. But instead, this inning stays alive with a 2-out walk. Well, that wild pitch is going to go all the way to the backstop, and now, after 2 quick outs, a 2-out walk and a wild pitch puts Hammonds over there on second base and in scoring position. One and one the count. Make it 2-1. Baucom up for the 4th time tonight. He's 0 for 3. Line out, fly out, and ground out. Boy, we're just missing a strikeout on his stat line. Pops that one into foul territory. That one's going to get out of play. That will be strike number 2, though. This UNC Pembroke squad, who has reached double digits in 5 of their first 8 games this season, have been completely shut down by Cougar pitching. That pitch on the outside makes it a full count. Remember, they're coming off 3 games. In their last 3 games, they put up a combined 45 runs. 0 here tonight. Chance to get out of another inning. The 3-2, a comebacker right up the middle. That's going to be the first run of the game for UNC Pembroke. As a single up the middle by Ethan Baucom gets UNC Pembroke on the board. Baucom will just add to his RBI total. Already 16 RBIs this season. If he wasn't good enough last year, he's cranked it up even more. He had 20 home runs and 71 RBIs last year. He's already got 16 RBIs through 9 games this year. This guy is an absolute monster to deal with inside the Peach Belt Conference. Mobley at the plate. Pitch there by Dutton inside, makes it 2-1. Two and two now the count. By the way, it's a final over there at Cougar Field. Just putting out some social media tweets right now with the Lady Cougars picking up a 9-1 win against Albany State in the opening game of their tournament. So great job by the Lady Cougars to keep the wins coming, keep that train rolling. Dutton, another ball, and he's going to be on another full count. 3 consecutive batters that have reached full count scenarios. And he's given up a walk and a single in his last 2. Let's get an out here. Dutton, the payoff, misses, ball 4. So another walk by Miles Dutton. Moves Baucom to second as Mobley will take first. And Ryan, the one at the plate.
Now batting, number 15, River Ryan.
Well, Miles Dutton had looked real clean to start. He got 2 consecutive strikeouts, 1 swinging and 1 looking. But since then, it's been walk, single, walk for the senior. That one by Ryan hit well into center field, but out there is Connor Curley for the third and final out. Well, there's the out that Dutton was looking for. 3 outs here in the top of the 8th inning, so we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Cougars on top, 7-1.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
On and off the court, we're
Bottom of the 8th inning here at Ragsdale Field. Cougars in front 7-1. Pembroke got their first run of the game on the board there in the top of the 8th. Cougars, though, well out in front. They'll see McDade, Curley, and Meadows at the plate. And then hopefully pick up 3 more outs in the 9th inning to close the deal on this opening series win. McDade fouls it back to start his at-bat. Van Vickle back out there for UNCP. came in relief for Smith. Ran into a lot of trouble there in the bottom of the 7th. That pitch inside on McDade as he rolls it to short, 1 down. Well, it was actually McDade who led things off last inning as well. And that's what started the big inning for CSU. McDade drew a walk, Curley singled. Meadows reached on an error by Smith, and that loaded the bases for Boughton. He hit a sac fly. Brooks walked to load the bases again. Horn hit an RBI single. Webb recorded an out, pop up there on the infield, and then it was Bullock who came through with the big 3 RBI double. That one hit into left field for a base knock. Connor Curley back-to-back singles. Had a single last inning and picks up another one here. His one last inning, though, that was a bunt single. And that really helped start that huge inning for CSU. David Meadows up at the plate now for the Cougars. Meadows reached on that error by the pitcher last inning, singled back in the 5th. His lone hit of the night. The 0-1 fouled out of play, 0-2. So the Lady Cougar softball team picking up a win here today. They'll be in action tomorrow night, scheduled first pitch at 7 p.m. And then they'll play 2 on Sunday. That's how their tournament action will go. Here at Ragsdale Field, we'll have a game on Saturday at 1 p.m. and a game on Sunday at 1 p.m. So 2 1 p.m. games for the Cougars upcoming this weekend. Here's the 1-2 pitch upcoming from Van Vickel. It's chopped foul, stays 1-2. It's Meadows at the plate. Curley stays over there at first base. They're going to call a 3rd strike there on Meadows. He can't believe it. He'll have to go back to the dugout. 2 down.
Now batting number 2, Isaac Boughton.
Isaac Boughton. 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run. And that sac fly drew a walk as well. 2 down. Curley taking off for second base. No throw even going to be made, as Connor Curley will pick up another stolen base for the Cougars. His second one tonight. Two hits, 2 stolen bases, and a run for Curley. There's a 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball gets in there for a strike, 1-1. Runner Curley over on second base. 1-1 the count. Van Vickels pitch inside. They're going to peel down the first. No go there by Boughton. Isaac Boughton, another Marietta, Georgia product for the Cougars. Went to Fellowship Christian School. Last year was actually named Region Player of the Year. A ridiculous .535 batting average over there. Number of great Marietta, Georgia players that have come through the ranks of Columbus State. Heads up in the dugout. Two and two the count. 2 down. Runner over there on second base. It's Curley. Cougars enjoying this 6-run advantage right now. Brooks on deck. Here's the pitch from Van Vickel. Doesn't come around. Stays inside. 3-2. So we'll have a payoff pitch here from Van Vickel. Boughton fouls that one off himself. That one looks like it stung. Boy, it just hasn't been a good week from the health department for Boughton. Got a tooth knocked out in the air on Wednesday night against Albany State. No, that was not even against them. It was before the game. And warm-ups. Fouled that pitch off of him as he stretches it out down there by home plate. Shake it off. One of those weeks from Boughton. He'll at least be happy that picked up one of the RBIs for the Cougars in this one. Plus, he made an incredible defensive play. His defense has been superb tonight. Here's the 3-2, a comebacker. A chance to pick up RBI number 2, and he will. Curley will easily get on home for CSU. Boughton 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs tonight. Isaac Boughton picks up his second RBI of the game. That's his 6th now on the year. And Robert Brooks at the plate. Back in the 3rd inning, it looked like Robert Brooks was going to hit a 3-run bomb. But the ball got caught up in the air and just died with the wind blowing back in at the wall, just about a foot or two away from getting out of here. That kept the score at 0-0, ended the bottom of the 3rd inning. And we didn't see our first run of the game until the bottom of the 5th, when finally the Cougars got on the board. Thanks to Robert Brooks, at that point delivering the 2 RBI triple. He's back up at the plate. Runner over on first base is Isaac Boughton. That pitch inside looked like it hit Brooks, and it did. He was walked his last at-bat, now hit by a pitch this time. So Bryson Horn will get another AB here tonight in this game. Here's Bryson Horn. Picked up the RBI single his last at-bat when the bases were loaded. Looks at a strike to start this at-bat. Runners on first and second. It's Boughton and Brooks. Two down for the Cougars as Horn fouls that one out of play, 0-2. Well, last season it was UNCP who took the season series against CSU. They won the first game 8-1. CSU evened it up with a 5-4 win, and then UNCP came back and took the third and final game by a score of 10-5. The previous year before that, it was all Columbus State. They took the first two games of the series, 6-1 and then 9-6, before the third game was actually canceled due to inclement weather. That cancellation also had an impact on the Peach Belt Conference tournament standings, although in the end it didn't matter for CSU as they ended up making the NCAA tournament and ran themselves all the way to the World Series. They actually beat UNCP in their regional. That was the first game of the regional for the Cougars, and they came away with an 8-2 win over UNC Pembroke. Two and two the count to Bryson Horn. He's got two singles already tonight. Here's the pitch. Fouled that one back. Two for four with a run and an RBI tonight. Bryson Horn, the transfer from Georgia Highlands College. It's where he's been for the past two seasons. A real productive player out of Georgia Highlands, a spot that the Cougars like to go down and recruit as he fouls that one off. Looked like his right shin area. He's got that shin guard down there. Ten total hits for CSU tonight. It's pretty efficient. 8 runs off of 10 hits. They came in clutch opportunities, exactly what Coach Appleton always preaches about. Getting the hits when you have runners in scoring position. Deuce is wild, 2-2 the count, 2 down, 2 on for Bryson Horn. Here's the pitch from Van Vickel, and it's going to be outside, full count. So the payoff pitch upcoming, and with 2 outs, runners can take off. Runners on first and second base for CSU. The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss there by Bryson Horn. He struck out, a great pitch low and inside there on Horn. So let's head to the top of the 9th inning. 3 more outs to go for CSU to pick up their 6th win of the season.
Focused on creating lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. More college athletes are earning degrees than ever before, but we've still got work to do. That's why we're raising the bar for incoming freshmen, so they're prepared when they get to campus. And why teams can't play in championships unless they make the grade. Education matters, and putting academics first creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity. While they're focused on success, we're focused on them. Because protecting college athletes doesn't only happen on the field. After the buzzer, it's about healthier student athletes. So we're reforming to meet their needs, investing in groundbreaking research, and changing the conversation around mental health. We're working hard to protect college athletes because prioritizing their well-being creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity. Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools, for nearly 500,000 student athletes, college sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
Three more outs to go here for the Cougars as they look to pick up win number 6 on the season and take the opening game of the series against the Braves. So it's Miles Dutton back out there for CSU. It'll be Simpson, Dixon, and Granger. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters for Pembroke, as that one is hit well into left field, but it's going to go foul. Simpson has had himself a good evening here for UNCP. Has 2 of the 4 hits for the Braves, 2 for 3 tonight. A couple of singles. Two singles and a strikeout. Simpson behind, 0-2. Dutton goes off speed, misses, 1-2. That pitch hit well into center field. Curley is going back there. He'll settle underneath for out number 1. Well, Bonning and Lotta were in pitcher duels early on. Bonning ended up going 5 innings. Lotta lasted 7. Bonning exited after giving up those 2 runs in the 5th inning. He finished with 5 hits, 2 earned, 3 strikeouts in his 5 innings of work. Lotta, meanwhile, 7 strong. Gave up just 3 hits. No earned runs, 5 strikeouts through 103 pitches tonight. I cannot wait to chat with Jalen Lotta in the post game. I'm sure he's already thinking about it down in the dugout. Always a real exciting interview with a couple of one-word responses. Don't worry, we'll get some sentences out of him tonight. I told him, just be ready. Be ready for the post game when he delivers in these Friday night bouts here at Cougar or at Ragsdale Field. We'll definitely be interviewing him tonight. Maybe we'll chat with Dane Bullock as well. He had that big 3 RBI bases clearing double to break the game wide open in the bottom of the 7th. You could really go up and down the lineup. Cougar batters have really come out to play and perform well tonight. 2 hits for Boughton, 2 for Horn, 2 for Curley. A couple of RBIs for Brooks. They've delivered well this evening and given CSU a chance to pick up a win to open up Peach Belt Conference play. Dixon and Dutton in a battle here. 2-2 the count, 1 down, bases empty. Granger the one on deck. Dixon fouls that one straight back. We'll do the 2-2 again. Dutton delivers, got him swinging. Pitch high there on Dixon. Out number 2. One more out to go here for the Cougars as they try to shut the door on UNC Pembroke. Granger, the one at the plate here for the Braves. Oh, and 1 the count. The pitch, a swing and a miss there. Make it 0-2. Cougars 1 strike away from picking up their first conference win. Called ball there, makes it 1-2. Granger trying to keep this game alive. He's 0 for 2, reached on an error back in the 5th inning. But the Cougars looking to shut the door on the Braves in this one. 1-2 the count. Dutton delivers. That pitch lifted well into right center field. Drew Webb going all the way back towards the wall. He's at the warning track, makes the grab for out number 3, and that'll do it here at Ragsdale Field. Cougars come away with the 8-1 win to open up Peach Belt Conference play.
Your final score, Cougars 8, Braves 1.
A big-time performance for CSU tonight. Nothing but love here on this Valentine's night at Ragsdale Field. An 8-1 win for CSU. It was all Jalen Lotta for the Cougars in this one. 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 5 Ks. An excellent performance by the senior on the mound. And the Cougar bats came through as well. 10 hits and 8 runs. 3 RBIs for Bullock, 2 RBIs apiece for Boughton and Brooks. Great start to the Peach Belt Conference play and the series against UNC Pembroke for the Cougars tonight. That's going to wrap things up for us here on Cougar Sports TV. Again, make sure you join us. We're going to be right back here at the ballpark tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. for first pitch. For our cameraman, our producer, our statistician, for everyone here at the ballpark, y'all enjoy your Valentine's night. Have a great night. 8-1 the final. Cougars come out on top.